Good afternoon. You'll now watch the recording made last night of the radio commentary that was broadcast this Friday morning, October 10th, by more than 200 stations. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and at the end, leave a like or dislike. Let's get to the commentary. Good morning. Yesterday, the State Department called the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, État Maritime, with an invitation from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is the United States Minister of Foreign Affairs, for Brazilian Minister of Foreign Affairs and Law, Mauro Vieira, to go to Washington for a meeting about the tariffs, right? The surcharge, as Trump has already made clear, the basis of the negotiation will be Brazil's need to restore freedom of expression and the rule of law. Because the Americans know we lost these with the actions of the Supreme Court and the omissions of the President of the Republic, who swore before the National Congress to defend the Constitution. It seems there's some kind of connection between the presidents in power to ensure everything is maintained, so that no crazy government comes along again to cut the benefits, the privileges, right? The sweet life of the state world. Well, yeah, I'm saying this because the tax burden is unbearable, and I see the media, which should serve its audience, instead serves the very thing that sustains it with unnecessary advertising, right? The media calls more taxes fiscal balance. Yeah, when there's a deficit, they don't call it a deficit, they call it an imbalance, right? And they only talk about revenue, not about collecting more taxes. The deputies, representing their taxpayer-paying and tax-oppressed leaders with dignity, shot down, right, this latest attempt to collect an additional $17 billion from taxpayers. Folks, there was a meeting yesterday, between Putin and the president of Azerbaijan. And Putin revealed, in his apology, that it was Russian air defense that shot down the plane of the Kazakhstani airline, Azerbaijan Airlines, killing 38 people. It was Russian air defense that shot down the plane. Not exactly a direct hit, but with two missiles that exploded on the plane's flank, on the side, 10 meters from the plane. So much so that the pilot said there had been a collision with a flock of birds, because the missile was destroyed. It was a self-destruct of the missile so it wouldn't fall somewhere in Russian territory, right? But it hit the plane. The shrapnel, right? It was like a grenade exploding nearby. The shrapnel pierced the hull. The plane tried again, and 38 people died. It seems there were many survivors. And Putin apologized and said he will compensate the families and the airline. Well, the missiles were reportedly fired, according to Putin, because there was a suspicion of the presence of drones from Ukraine. Now, speaking of drones, I'm worried about these Chinese things. I was there in a city famous for fireworks displays, those designs in the air they make with drones, right? And then the drones started catching fire, thousands of drones that were making wonderful designs in the sky, right? And they fell on the people watching below, right? There are no recorded deaths, but we don't know if anyone was burned, right? It caused a few fires, small fires that were quickly put out, but it was like a meteor shower falling on the people there, right? So, China has done wonders, right? That wonderful bridge, right? Airports, and with the greatest speed, but sometimes things go wrong. There was a succession of destruction of the drones by fire, as if they had circuited them. From Brasilia, Alexandre Garcia.